Everybody go ahead and take a seat for me. My name is Phil. This is my co-host, Chloe. We are so excited for Collide Rodeo.
Yeehaw! Hey, guys. Well, welcome to you all in the room and online. We'll give you all a minute to go ahead and find your seats.
Absolutely. If you're online, go ahead and put the cowboy emoji in the chat. Let us know you're excited. Hey, everybody in the room, let's make some noise for our first-time guest today.
We are so glad y'all are here. You know, I have always wanted to be part of a rodeo. I mean, I love it all. I love the lassoing. I love the bull riding, the barrel racing. I think it's all amazing.
Absolutely. You know what my favorite event is, Chloe? The Hog Holler.
Yeehaw. Well,
there we go.
If you guys don't know what a hog holler is, then you are in for a treat.
Absolutely.
So, last week, we asked you guys to send in your very best hog hollers, and boy, did we get some good submissions. But we told y'all we were gonna pick our favorites and invite them to come up on stage to give it their shot to be the best hog hollerer in all of Water's Edge students.
Absolutely. We're going to pick the top 2. We know a lot of you guys put in submissions. We're going to pick the top 2 to compete for who has the best hog holler.
Y'all ready to hear our finalists? All right. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
Please welcome to the stage.
Here we go. Drum roll.
Miss Kate Antle and Lene Carr.
Woo-hoo!
Now, what we didn't tell you guys was that you would not just be competing against each other. Oh no, and it's actually great that it's these two because you guys will be competing against a few of our very own campus pastors.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, all right. Coming from down under of Dallas, Texas, where he was raised, the greatest trainer, Coach trained one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Troy Aikman, the big tree of all oaks in Texas, and can wrestle a bull with his bare hands. The 6'4", 225 campus pastor of Yorktown, Ben Carr! Hey!
Sir, go ahead and stand right here.
And our other contestant, the best-looking Antle, the big brother of the second best-looking Antle, the strongest, fastest, meanest, Ben Carr slapping, hog-tied, bull riding, bear grinding, God-fearing, devil holding, strongest campus pastor of all time, Pastor Eddie!
Let's go! All right, go ahead and stand right here, sir. All right, y'all ready to hear some hog hollers? All right. The way this is gonna work is they're each gonna take a turn, and then you guys are gonna decide by applause the winner. All right? All right. Let's go with Miss Kate Antle very first. You do get to do it first. All right, y'all ready? Let's get some hype. Let's go. Woo!
Make some noise!
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
All right. Would you like Pastor Ben to go next?
All right.
Pastor Eddie's next. All
Pastor
right.
Eddie is about to bless us. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Give it up for Pastor Eddie.
All right. Now. Let's hear it for the ladies. We got Miss Lene Carr up next.
You got this. Just
Waka 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 waka. Oink, 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 oink.
that was pretty good. Hey, give it up for him.
Wow. I mean, that was pretty good.
All right, everybody. Pastor Ben, you are up, sir.
All right, this is the most annoying sound in the world. Very nice.
Well,
Very nice.
that sure was something. So, let's hear it. Now it's y'all's turn to judge. We're gonna hear from Miss Kate Antle. Let's hear your applause.
Make some noise if you think she won.
Oh, all right. Miss Lene.
All right. That's pretty outstanding. All right. Give it up for Pastor Ben if you think. Oh, wow. All right. All right. Last but surely not least, Pastor Eddie.
You know what? I think we got a winner. I think it's Miss Lene Carr. Please give her a round of applause. The rest of y'all can head on back to your seats or backstage. Lene, just stay on stage for one more second.
I don't know about you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed that hog calling. How about we hear that one more time?
Go ahead, do it one more time. Yeah, go. See me?
Waka 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 waka.
Oh, we got a real live hog here. I mean, it worked. What do y'all
Everybody
think?
give it up for our winner up here.
Woo!
That was
That
fantastic.
sure was something.
Oh, wow.
You know, we got one more thing that I'm sure y'all are waiting to hear, and that is our camp giveaway.
Woo!
Thank you so much. Now, each Collide before summer camp, we give away one full scholarship to one very lucky winner. And if you guys haven't gone to camp, then let me tell you a little bit about it. So it is one full week of the most amazing games, worship, and messages from our Water's Edge staff. It'll bring you closer to each other and to God. And we are just so excited. So without further ado, let's get a little drum roll, please.
Can I get a drum roll, please?
All right, moment of truth.
And the winner is...
Miss Christina Ritzel.
Woo!
Congratulations to our winner. We are so excited for you and so excited to send you to camp.
Absolutely. Hey, if you guys love what we did tonight, make sure you go home, register for camp. Camp registration's open. Go ahead and register. You don't want to miss out.
That's so true. We're so excited. Now, the rodeo is just getting started. In just a minute, we're going to hear from our amazing student director, Dixon Jernigan.
Yeehaw! But before that, we're going to have an awesome time of worship. Everybody get up off your feet and give it up for the Water's Edge Band!
Hey, y'all ready to worship Jesus? Won't you make some noise? Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? I see lightning, I hear thunder. Something stirred 6 feet under. Come on, dead things coming back to life again. I believe there's about to be another resurrection. Yeah. Come on. See, I see signs and I see wonder. I see bursts of living color. Dead things coming back to life again. I believe there's about to be another resurrection. Come on, let me hear you say, come alive. Come on. Come alive, yeah. Wake up, sleeper. He is the reason. We are risen with him. Come on, let's sing that second verse. Sing hallelujah, it is finished. Come on, see the grave. See the grave, nobody in it. Dead things coming back to life again. I believe there's about to be another resurrection. Come on, Kalai, let me hear you sing it loud. Come alive, come on. Come alive. Wake up, sleeper. He is the reason. We are risen with him. Paradise flung wide open. He is the reason. We are. See, come alive. Come alive. Wake up, sleeper. He is the reason. We are risen with him. Paradise flung wide open. He is the reason. We are risen with him. Come on, put those hands together. Come on, sing this part with us. Say, you see what I see, that the grave is empty, and you know what I know. Anything, come on, let me hear you. If you see what I see, that the grave is empty, and you know what I know. Anything, come on, sing, do you see? Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? I see signs and I
tried with all my might, but I just can't win the fight. I'm slowly drifting, a vagabond. Come on, sing it with me, you guys. And just when I ran out of road, I met a man I didn't know, and he told me that I was not alone. He picked me up, he turned me around, he placed my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because he healed my heart, he changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God. I cannot deny what I see. Got no choice but to believe. My doubts are burning like ashes in the wind. So long to my old friends. Like burden and bitterness, you can't just keep them moving. Hey! No, they ain't welcome here. Come on, tell them now. From now till I walk the streets of gold, I'll sing of how you saved my soul. This wayward son has found his way back home. You pick me up, turn me around, place my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because he healed my heart, he changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior. Ooh, I thank God. All right, I need your guys' help here. It's really, really important, okay? We're going to declare it. We're going to say, hell, lost another one. Hell, lost another one. I am free. Come on, put those hands up. I am free. I am free. Hell, lost another one. I am free. I am free. I am free. Come on. Hell, lost another one. Oh, I am free. I am free. Hell, lost another one. Sing hell, Lord. I am free. I am free. Yes, I am free. Hell, lost another one. I am free. I am free. Yes, I am free. Sing hell, lost another one. Oh, I am free. I am free. Hell, lost another one. Oh, I am free. I am free. You pick me up, you turn me around, place my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because he healed my heart, he changed my name, forever free. I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior. Ooh, I thank God. Holy cow. What is up, Collide? Come on, let me hear you guys. I know you guys can do better than them. Let me hear you. Man, what an honor and a joy it is to be able to stand up here and worship with you guys. I tell you, this is the best part of my job. I love it so much. There's no better thing than to see you guys just truly worship and just have fun with each other, but most of all in the presence of God, you guys. Oh my goodness. Do you realize what an honor that is? Y'all are so amazing. So amazing. Speaking of amazing, you know, this next song is just so awesome, and I believe every single word it says. Our God is so awesome, so holy, so mighty, so wonderful. And if you've ever been in a place in your life, I just want you to think about who God is to you. If you've ever been alone, or maybe you just didn't feel like you had any friends or anybody there to talk to, like, just who is God for you? He's that person that is always faithful. He is always there for you. He is always merciful. He is always wonderful. He is always giving you those blessings. And I know sometimes we get so excited and we're all the way up here. We're on this mountain. But then sometimes we feel him and we're just really low. But right now, I want you guys to stay on this high mountaintop with me, right? We just got done praising and worshiping with him. We're so high. But let's stay there for a minute and just praise him for just how awesome he is. Our God is so awesome, you guys. Let's reflect on that together as we get to praise his holy and mighty name.
So
name's right here. And his name of God is kindness. And he's pouring out on us. He's pouring out of us. Such an awesome God. So mighty. So holy. So wonderful. Such an awesome God, so selfless, so generous, so faithful. You are faithful to me. Thank you guys so very much for taking that time and worshiping with us. Why don't y'all go ahead and head on back to your seats.
Well, what is up, everybody? My name is Dixon. I'm the student director here at Water's Edge, and I am so excited to be with you guys for Collide Rodeo. I hope you're having a good time so far. Hey, I just wanted to take a moment to thank our lead pastor, Stu Hodges, not just for being an incredible resource and a mentor to me as I was getting ready for tonight, but simply just trusting and believing in me to stand on this stage and share the Word of God with you guys tonight. It's such a huge honor. So I know you guys don't get to see everything that goes into preparing for Collide, okay? But I thought you should know this. There are over 100 adult volunteers and staff members who are involved in planning this. Whether that's the band you see on the stage, or the security team keeping us safe, thank you guys, or the ushers who helped you find your seats, or your student group leaders, whoever it is, they all do that because we believe that you guys are worth the investment, and we want to see you guys have a great time, and I want each and every one of you guys to have a personal encounter with Jesus tonight. Does that sound good? Okay, all right. So I wanted to start tonight off with a quick question. Just shoot your hand up if you've ever done something stupid to impress somebody, right? Just throw your hand up in there. I see lots of hands. There's also some liars among you. There are some liars. Listen, if you've never done something stupid to impress somebody, more power to you, but I definitely have, okay? And as we were getting ready for Collide and we picked out the theme Rodeo, it made me think of one instance in particular from my past. I thought I'd share it with you guys tonight, okay? So I was 16 years old and I had a crush on a girl, okay? You probably heard a ton of stories that start that way, right? There's something about a 16-year-old boy when he's got a crush on a girl that, like, I don't know if his brain shuts off or what happens, but like you'll do anything to impress her, okay? So this girl in particular, she was big into horseback riding, and she would do like not Western jumping, the English jumping like you see on the Olympics. But then also on the weekends, she would go to the local rodeo, and she would do some barrel racing and all that kind of cool stuff. So here's where my 16-year-old confidence, or stupidity, whatever you want to call it, that's where that kicks in, okay? So my master plan to impress this girl is to go and get a job at the stable that she rides at, right? That's going to work. There's just one problem. I had never ridden a horse in my life, okay? I knew absolutely nothing about horses, but doesn't matter. I call up the guy, his name is John. I call him up, he owns the stable. I'm like trying to put my best like man voice on the phone. I'm like, hello, John, I'm Dixon. I heard you have an opening at your stable. And he goes, oh yeah, son. That's actually how he talked. He says, oh yeah, son, come on down tomorrow, I'll give you an interview. So boom, right? I am in. So I show up for the interview, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna be like scooping poop out of the stalls and like feeding the horses and stuff. Oh no. John was interviewing me to be a trail guide, okay? So they had all these trails that go behind the stable, and people would come and pay money for an expert horseback rider to set them up on a horse and take them on the trails, okay? Remember, I have no idea how to ride a horse, okay? But John never asked me if I knew how to ride a horse in the interview, so I got the job, right? Okay? So I'm feeling good. I feel great. I shake John's hand. I walk out with a big smile on my face to my dad's 2000 Toyota Avalon with a nice scrape down the side. So I get in the car and I call up my friend Charlie, because she rides horses too. And I'm like, Charlie, I just got a job at a stable and I start tomorrow and I have no idea how to ride a horse. You gotta help me out, okay? So we met up later that night and she delivered. She got me on a horse and I'm leaving that place. I feel like a real deal, modern day cowboy. Okay? I'm feeling good. So I show up to work, and I pick it up pretty quickly. I'm doing all right. But as you might imagine, it didn't work out with the original girl that I was trying to impress. But I was going to make the most of this situation. So here's what I would do. When a group of people showed up to come ride at this stable, if there was a girl who was close to my age, and I thought she was cute, I would put her on a horse that I knew was going to give her trouble, so that later on I could ride in and rescue her from danger. I mean, come on. Guys, take notes. Take notes, because there's no better way to impress a girl than to ride in on horseback and rescue her from danger. Okay? That's it. You can't do better than that. I'm sorry. So, that's the way that I was living my life. Okay? I was misrepresenting what I was capable of to get further in life. I was doing everything I could to impress people whose opinions really didn't matter. Okay? I would do whatever it took to get what I really wanted, which was to be noticed. Okay? And guess what? I was living my life. I was trying my best to get good grades so that my parents wouldn't be mad at me. I was trying my best to make sure I always had a girlfriend so I looked good when I showed up at school. I had friends. I was trying to have all the answers when I showed up on Wednesday night for youth group so all the church girls would notice me. I was doing all that. And guess what? I was tired. I was worn out. When I got home at the end of the day, I had nothing left to give. And I've got a feeling you guys know what that's like, okay? This group of students, whether you're here with me in the room, if you're at home watching online, you guys have been through more in the last 2 years than any group of students, like probably at any point in history. I don't know, maybe. So you guys have had so much pressure put on you. And I think you already know what I'm talking about, but let me help you put this in perspective, okay? Where are my students from Grafton? You guys make some noise? Okay. Y'all's school literally caught on fire in the beginning of 2020, right? Like I know sometimes it's nice to get out of class for a little bit for a fire drill, but like it caught on fire, okay? What about York? Where are my York people at? Okay. How about Tab? You guys had to put up with all those crazy Grafton students while their school was getting fixed. I don't know what's worse. Who's got it worse? Some of you guys had to go to school on a Saturday. on a Saturday. How are you supposed to hang out with your friends if you're going to school on Saturday? Even though I know you saw them when you came to youth group on Wednesday nights, right? And when you showed up for church on Sunday morning, right? Right? Okay, I think you know what's coming next. I bet you I can trigger every single one of you guys just by saying one word. You ready for it? Zoom. Right? Right? Virtual school has put so much added pressure on you guys, all at a time when you're supposed to be like figuring out who you are and making decisions for your life, okay? So I'm gonna help you put this into perspective for a second, okay? So when you look at me, the first word that I know all of you are thinking is athlete, right? Like super strong, okay? So that's what you would think, but I'm actually like a huge geek, okay? I love numbers, I love statistics, I love math, I love bell curves and correlations. Yeah, that's it. Come on. Okay? So I geek out over that stuff. So here's what I did. I read a bunch of research articles about the effects of virtual school, and here's what I found. 66% of students found it harder to get their schoolwork done. How many of you guys feel like you slept less? Well, good, because that means you're in the 43% of students who lost sleep during virtual school. 44% of students reported that they felt sad and hopeless. And 37% of students said that their mental health suffered while they were doing virtual school. Guys, the last 2 years have been insane, okay? Some of you went from straight A students to barely passing. Some of you guys had to sit at home every day and watch your parents fight and watch their marriage fall apart, right? Maybe you lost a loved one and you didn't even get to say goodbye because the hospital wasn't accepting visitors. Okay? Maybe your depression took a tighter grip on your life. Maybe you started hurting yourself. Maybe you considered suicide for the first time because of the pressure that you had on you the last 2 years. They've been heavy. You've had the weight of a pandemic and virtual school and quarantine weighing down on your shoulders. Maybe you have trouble sleeping at night or getting out of bed in the morning. Maybe you just stopped praying altogether because you felt like your soul was tired. Well, I want to share the words of Jesus with you tonight because I believe that he has the answer for you. So I'm going to be reading from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28 to 30. This is Jesus speaking. He says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened." That's you, and that's me, by the way, okay? "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I mean, come on, guys. If rest for your soul doesn't sound good, then I don't know what will. Okay? But there's a catch. Okay? You may be tempted to read that first part, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And you're like, sweet, that's super easy. All I got to do is come to Jesus, and I got rest. But you'd be missing the point, okay? Let's see what he says next. He says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me." So what is a yoke? Unless you grew up on a farm, you've probably never used one. But they look a little something like this. We've got a picture for you. A yoke is like this big beam of wood that's carved to fit the shoulders of two animals. It ties them together, and then it also connects them to the load that they're supposed to pull. Okay? So when Jesus says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me," he's telling you to work. He says, "I've got a job for you. There's a load for you to pull." And that might be frustrating because you're like, "Hey, how are you going to give me rest by giving me more work to do? That doesn't make sense." That doesn't seem to line up. It doesn't seem to answer our question. But what you have to remember is in the 2,000 years that have passed between when Jesus said that and today, the world's changed a lot, okay? So we've lost a lot of the context that Jesus' original audience would have had, okay? They knew that if something heavy had to be moved, they were either trying to move it themselves or they were getting their animal, whether it's a donkey or a horse or an ox or whatever, and they were putting the yoke on its shoulders and it was moving it for them. They didn't have trucks and tractors and modern farming equipment. No, they were using a yoke. So I think in order for us to really understand what Jesus is saying to us, we have to take a little bit of time to really understand how a yoke works. Okay? So while I was reading about yokes, there were a few interesting things that came up. So we've got a picture of two oxen in a yoke side by side. And they're super muscular, just like me. And they're pulling a heavy load. So something interesting about that is that when those two animals are in the yoke side by side, they can pull more than each of them combined. Let me break that math down for you. If this really strong Dixon-looking ox on the left can pull 1,000 pounds on a sled, and the other one can pull 1,000 pounds, then when they're together, they're able to pull more than 2,000 pounds together. Okay? There's something about working side by side that allows them to tap into more power than they had when they were alone. And not only that, but when you have a new young ox who you're trying to train to pull a yoke, you are going to yoke them up next to your strongest, most experienced ox. Okay? And that ox, guess what? They're going to pull most of the weight. The young ox just needs to know what it feels like to have a yoke on its shoulders. It just needs to get a feel for walking in step with an ox who's done it before. Okay? How many of you guys have been in that position before? Maybe you were working on a school project and you had the not so smart kid from your class as your partner. Okay? Maybe you're on a sports team and the coach paired you up with the new kid who just came up from JV and they don't really know what they're doing. Maybe you actually work at a job and your boss told you that you're supposed to train the person who just got hired. You end up doing most of the work, right? And that can be frustrating because a lot of times it would be easier just to do it by yourself. Why am I going to put all this extra effort into teaching this new person when I could just do it quicker by myself? Okay? But a good teacher knows that it's worth the effort. A good teacher knows that teaching isn't easy, and that if they commit the time and walk alongside you and walk in step with you, that you'll be capable of more by the time you're done. It's the same thing with the ox. That strong ox could say, I'm not wasting time with this ox. But he goes alongside the other ox and teaches him and pulls the weight. And that's the same reason why Jesus' yoke is different. You see, when he says, take up my yoke and learn from me, he's not the ox driver. Okay? He's not sitting there with a whip saying, you better not fall behind. No. He says, come here and put this yoke on with me. I've done it before. I can pull the weight. All I need you to do is get in the yoke and learn what it feels like to walk in step with me. Okay? But it doesn't stop there. The symbolism goes deeper than that. You see, a yoke that fits an animal well allows them to pull so much more. Okay, can you imagine having a yoke over your shoulders and it's got all sharp edges and it doesn't fit right and you're getting splinters? You're not going to be able to pull as much as you would with one that fit right. You're going to pick up bad habits. You're going to be tired at the end of the day. You're going to be sore. So listen to me. If you're tired, if you're weary, if you're sore, if you need rest for your soul, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're pulling a load that you were never meant to pull. And I'm going to say that again for you because if you walk away tonight with anything, it should be this. It's not because you're weak. It's because you've been pulling a load that you were never meant to pull. You see, we get to choose which yoke we put on our shoulders, right? You get to choose when you wake up in the morning, you get to decide what burden you're going to put on yourself. And it seems like it'd be an easy choice, right? Jesus says it right there in the text. He says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So why do we keep turning back to the things that are holding us back? Why do we keep choosing to put weights on our shoulders that are crushing us? And I'll tell you why. It's because a yoke is a symbol of submission. When an animal has a yoke on its shoulders, that's a symbol that it's serving somebody else. It doesn't have its own interest in mind. It's serving the master. And so when you have the weights of the world on your shoulders, the enemy would have you believe that you don't have a choice about it. He would tell you that if you're tired and sore, it's because you're not good enough. It's because you can't handle it. You don't have a choice. Maybe you're walking through life and you're yoked to things that don't matter, that are temporary. Maybe your steps are heavy and you feel burdened because you've yoked yourself to social media. You've let yourself believe that your worth is tied to how many followers you have and how many likes you get on that picture. But that's not true. Maybe you've got the pressures of your parents' expectations on your shoulder. Maybe you have to get good grades so that you can get in that one college, so that you can get that one job, so that you can make lots of money and then you'll be somebody. Maybe you have yoked yourself to an abusive relationship. You're placing your worth in the opinion of somebody else who you know in your heart you're never going to be good enough for them. Maybe you struggle to get out of bed every morning because of the weight of your own anxiety. Maybe you've been yoked to an addiction. You feel like you'll never be somebody, you'll never amount to anything if you can't stop looking at that website, or you can't stop using that drug. But it's time to let that go. Maybe your dad is not in the picture. Maybe you've been told since you were a kid that it's your job to provide for your family, that it's up to you to be the man of the house. But I say enough. Jesus says enough. Do you want freedom from that? Do you want rest for your soul? Because Jesus already gave us the answer. I'll read another verse for you. It says in Galatians chapter 5, verse 1, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery." It's time to take those burdens off your shoulders. As long as you're living your life yoked to things of this world, you are living in slavery, guys. It's time to take off your chains and taste freedom through yoke yourself to Jesus. Can you imagine for a moment if everybody here tonight, everybody sitting at home watching online, if you decided to ignore the voice of the world and you decided instead to listen to Jesus when he says, "Take up my yoke and learn from me." That's what I want for you. And more importantly, that's what Jesus wants for you. The band is up here. We're going to sing a few more songs before the night is up. But I want to leave you with this challenge. Jesus made you a promise. He says, "Take up my yoke and learn from me, and you will have rest for your souls." Take him up on his offer. Okay? As we listen to this next song, I want you to stay in your seat. And I want you to take a few moments to ask God to show you the weights that are holding you back. And listen to what he says. Maybe he's telling you that friend that you have at school, they're not for you. Their opinion doesn't matter. You need to let that go. It's time to drop the pressure and get in the yoke. This is calling you to take up his yoke. If you're ready to have rest for your soul, if you're ready to follow Jesus, then take this moment to say yes to God.
Speak in vain, a syllable empty or void. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath, evolving in pursuit of what you say. If it all reveals in nature so alive, I can see your heart in everything you say. Every painted sky, a canvas of your grace. If creation still obeys you so alive, so the stars were made to worship so high. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. If the oceans roar your brightness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the rain goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in my land, so will I. If the sum of all our praises still falls shine, then we'll sing again 100 million times. God of salvation, you chased down my heart through all of my failure and pride. On the hill you created, the light of the world, abandoned in darkness to die. And as you speak, 100 billion failures disappear. Where you lost your life, so I could find it here. If you left the grave behind, measure could amount to your desire. You're the one who never leaves the world behind.
Are you being held by the weight of sin? Are you being held back by your own guilt and shame? Some of you came here tonight and you already have a relationship with Jesus, but you're so focused on your own mistakes that you can't walk with him. You were saved by grace, but you've convinced yourself that now you have to try really hard to dig yourself out of that pit you got yourself into. I've got news for you. It's gonna sting a little bit. You are no match for the power of sin. There's no amount of effort or devotion. There's no amount of commitment that can get you out of that. There's only one, and he's the one who took your place on the cross. His name is Jesus. He can handle the weight of your sin, and he's calling out to you. He's saying, give it to me. I can take it. I paid the price for it already, but some of us are still holding on. Some of us are saying, no, Jesus, I deserve this. You don't understand. I earned this guilt. I earned this shame. I deserve this pain. But it's time to let it go. You know, one of the hardest parts of being a Christian, it's not devotion, it's not prayer, it's not trying really hard and being really good. The hardest part is believing that there is a God who was gladly willing to pay the price for your sin and ask for nothing in return. Some of you, when you came here tonight, you didn't know Jesus. And you've been living as a slave to your own guilt and your own shame. But it's time for you to believe that God paid the price for you. And not so that he could hold it over your head later on or so that he could make you do what he wants to. No, he didn't ask for any of that. He paid the price for you because he couldn't stand to see you spend another minute tied to your shame. He didn't want to see you live like that. So if that's you, if you hear the voice of Jesus tonight saying to you for the first time, take up my yoke, I'll help you carry it. It's time to walk by my side. If that's you, then I want to lead you in a prayer. You don't have to say it out loud. Just between you and God. Just say it from your soul to him. Just say, Jesus, I want to know you. I want my sin to be forgiven by you. I want to be made right with God in heaven through you. I am ready to take up your yoke and follow you for all the days of my life. Come into my heart and be my Savior and my God. If you just prayed that prayer, let me tell you, that is the most incredible thing that you could ever do. That is the most important decision that you could ever make. And I'm so excited for you. But it doesn't stop there. You've got a building full of people who've made that decision and they want to walk alongside you and they want to celebrate with you. So I've got something special for you. We have a room set up just outside the auditorium. We have our campus pastors. You just saw them up here on the stage a minute ago. We have some other leaders. If you came with a friend, bring them with you. If you're sitting with your student group leader, have them come with you. We want to celebrate with you. We want to pray for you, and we have a gift for you. So if that's you, we're all going to make some noise for you. Now is the moment. Go ahead and get up and head right out the back. We want to celebrate with you. That is incredible. We're so excited for you. Come on. That is so exciting. If you guys are still in the room, let's keep that celebration going. We've got one more song that we want to sing with our Water's Edge band.
Let praise be a weapon that silences the enemy. Let praise be a weapon that conquers all anxiety. Come on, let it rise. Let praise arise. Come on, we sing. We sing your name in the dark and it changes everything. Sing with all we are and we claim your victory. Come on, let it rise. Let praise arise. Let it rise. We'll see you break down every wall. We'll watch the giants fall. Fear cannot survive when we praise you. The God of breakthroughs on our side, forever lifted high. With all creation, what about we praise you? Oh, we praise you. Oh, come on, sing, let faith. Let faith be the song that overcomes the raging sea. Let faith be the song that calms the storms inside of me, yeah. Let it rise. Let faith arise. Let it rise. We'll see you break down every wall. We'll watch the giants fall. Fear cannot survive when we praise you. The God of breakthroughs on our side, forever lifted high. All creation, what God we praise you. Oh, we praise you. Oh, this is what living looks like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what heaven sounds like. We praise you. We praise. Come on. This is what living looks like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what heaven sounds like. We praise you. We praise you. This is what living looks like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what heaven sounds like. We praise you. We praise you. This is what living looks like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what heaven sounds like. We praise you. We praise you. We'll
guys, that was just an incredible night. Let's hear it one more time for our amazing band and student director. Well, you guys, that message just spoke right to my heart, and it was exactly what I needed to hear, and I hope it did the same for y'all. Well, I know we've talked about it a lot tonight, but one more time, I just want to mention Student Camp 2022. We are heading back to Gastonia, North Carolina. Now, June 15th is going to be your last day to register, so make sure that you're signed up before then. And if you need a scholarship, just go ahead and head to our website for information on that. Just go to watersedgechurch.net/student camp, and all of your questions will be answered there. Well, I hope you guys had an amazing time. I'm just so glad that you joined us here at the rodeo, and we'll see you on Sunday. Y'all are dismissed.